Hello, welcome back to week 5 of distance learning. I'm Miss Roark, and I'm going to be doing the first grade phonics lessons this week. What you're going to need for this lesson is a piece of paper, something to write with, and something hard like a clipboard that you can put your paper on for a scavenger hunt that we're going to do later. Now, before we start our lesson this week, I want to go over a little bit of what Mrs. Dunnigan talked to you about last week. So, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to make a chart that looks just like this one. You're going to have a column for nouns, you're going to have a column for verbs, and you're going to have a column for adjectives. You can turn your paper sideways like this if you want to, so that you have more room, or you can do it up and down, but you will have to write smaller if you do it up and down. You can pause the video right now to make that chart, or you can make it when the video is over. Now, last week, Mrs. Dunnigan talked to you about the endings that you can put on different words and what kind of words have what kind of endings. So we learned that verbs are action words. They're something that you can do, and usually they have an ing ending if it's a present tense verb, if it's something that's happening right now. And we learned that nouns are a person, a place, an animal, or a thing. And nouns can be made plural by adding an S to the end. So that's what we talked about last week. This week, we're going to talk about nouns, verbs, and we're also going to talk about adjectives later. An adjective is the describing word. It adds details and it makes a story more interesting to listen to. But for today, we're just going to focus on nouns. So, I'm going to erase my chart so that we can just look at the nouns column and you can see it better. But if you haven't made your chart yet, again, you can pause the video now to make it, or you can make it at the end of the video and you can go back and see what it looks like. But I'm going to erase it so that you can see the nouns that I write easier. Okay, so for this first day, all we're going to focus on is that very first column of your chart that says nouns. What I want you to do is you're going to do a scavenger hunt, a lot like some of the other videos that we've done. You're going to go around your house and you're going to look at your books that you have, or maybe some cereal boxes in the kitchen, or you can look at the shampoo bottle in your shower. There are words all over your house that you can find, but I'm going to give you an extra challenge this week because we've been distance learning for a month now, and you guys are pros. So, I don't want you to look for just any noun. I want you to look for nouns that follow the rules that we've learned in other weeks in the phonics videos. So the very first week that we did distance learning, I know that Mrs. Smith taught you about digraphs and where they go in words and the sounds that they make. So I know that she taught you about the TH digraph that it has two sounds. It can say or th, and it has the voice sound and the unvoiced sound, and it can go at the beginning of a word or the end of a word. She taught you about SH that says shh, and SH can go at the beginning of the word or the end of a word. And she taught you about CK that says k, and CK always goes at the end of the word. She may have taught you about a few others, but those are the three that I can remember right now without going back and watching her video. So I want you to find one noun, a person, place, an animal, or a thing. It can be any of those 4 things, but I want it to have one of those digraphs that Mrs. Smith taught you about. So the one that I thought of was the word math. Now math has the TH at the end, and it ends in the th sound, so it's the unvoiced sound of that digraph. And it has 4 letters, but it only has 3 sounds. Finger stretch it with me. Th. 4 letters, but 3 sounds because the digraph comes together and only makes 1 sound. Then the next week, Mrs. Dunnigan taught you about phonics, and she taught you about some blends. I know that she taught you about CR, SL, and SW blends, and you played a game. So I want you to find another noun, a person, place, animal, or a thing that has either CR, SL, or SW in it. The one that I came up with is an animal. I thought of crab. Crab has the CR blend at the beginning, so I'm going to underline. I underlined my digraph up here, and I'm going to underline my blend in this one. So finger stretch with me. It says crab, crab. So again, we have 4 letters, but 3 sounds. Then during week 3, I taught you about the silent E rule and long vowel sounds. So the silent E rule is if a word has an E at the end of the word that doesn't make any sound, the vowel that's in the middle of the word will say its long sound or its name. So I thought of a place for this one, and this one's a little bit different because it's a proper noun. Now, proper nouns mean that it's the name of a person or a place, a specific place. So just school, that's not a proper noun because there can be lots of different schools. But if we said Barnard Elementary School, that one would be all 3, Barnard Elementary and school, would be capitalized because it's the name of a specific school. But the place that I thought of that has a long vowel in its name is the North Pole. So I'm going to capitalize North. Now, North doesn't have a long vowel in it, but it does have a TH. So I'm going to underline my digraph, and it's finger stretch with me. N or th. So that was tricky. It has the R controlled O, and it has the TH, and it has the unvoiced TH. But then we have pole. And it has a silent E. The E is not making any sound. And the O is making its long sound. It's saying its name. P, O, U. 4 letters, but 3 sounds. So that was our rule for week 3. And then I thought of another blend word for my person. So we have a thing noun. Math is a thing. We have a animal noun. A crab is an animal. We have a place noun. The North Pole is a place. And now I want to come up with a person. And the person that I thought of has a blend in her name. The SL blend that Mrs. Dunnigan taught you about is Sleeping Beauty. And Sleeping Beauty is also, oh, there we go. I miss my classroom. We would be able to see better if I had a real whiteboard. But Sleeping Beauty is also a proper noun, so I capitalize the S and I capitalize the B because both of those words are her name. Now I'm going to underline my SL in sleeping because that's the blend. But I'm noticing that sleeping has the ing ending on it. And what did Mrs. Dunnigan teach you about that last week? That means that it's a verb, right? Because it's something that you can do. So this one's kind of tricky because Sleeping Beauty is a person's name. So the 2 words together are a noun. It's talking about one person. But if I just had the word sleeping by itself, it would actually be a verb because it's something that you can do. So your job now is to take your clipboard or your book or whatever you have to write on your paper with and your pencil, and I want you to find a noun that is a person, a noun that is a place, a noun that is a thing, and a noun that is an animal from something in your house. And I want you to find, this is the tricky part, it needs to have one of the rules that we talked about in our other phonics videos in its name. So it might take a little while and you might need to ask a grown-up for help, but I think you can do it. And if you find one that's really cool, you can email it to me or Mrs. Smith, and we will show it to the other teachers, and it'll be really fun. All right, best of luck on your safari.